Hello all, welcome to the second part of the revision of Chapter 1, Variation in Psychological Attributes. Assessment of Intelligence. Alfred Binet was the first person to define intelligence. He defined intelligence as the ability to judge well, understand well, reason well, and he has also given a theory, the first theory of intelligence, that is known as uni or the one-factor theory. He is the first person who has successfully able to measure the intelligence in the year 1905. He revised his own scale in 1908 and has given the concept of MA, that is mental age. Mental age simply means the age of your mind. That is, at what particular age is your mental process is working. He has given the concept of retardation also. According to him, retardation will be considered if it is 2 mental age years below the chronological age. Chronological age is your biological age. According to Alfred Binet, a child will be considered as dull if the chronological age is greater than mental age. That means if a child is of 5 years but his mental abilities, his mental age is of 2 years, that child will be considered as dull. A child will be considered as bright if the mental age is greater than the chronological age. For example, a child is of 5 years, but his mental abilities, capabilities are of 7 years. So that child will be considered as bright child. In 1912, William Stern has given the concept of IQ, that is intelligence quotient. Intelligence quotient can be found out through by the formula mental age divided by chronological age into 100. 100 is done to avoid the decimals. The average IQ of human being is 100 and the range is from 90 to 110. If we plot a graph between the number of person and the IQ scores, we will get a normal curve, which is also known as bell-shaped curve. Now, if you see this bell-shaped curve, it starts from the lower end, move to move upwards, reach a particular height, and then it comes down. It has few unique properties. First thing is that if we are going to divide it from the middle part, the right and the left will be exactly the same, and most of the population you can see will be in the middle. Only very few people or very less amount will be on the extremities. If I see this, you can see in the middle, you can see the average, that is from 90 to 110. Now, if I move forward from 110 to 120, it will be called as high average. 120 to 130 will be superior, and above 130 it is called as very superior or intellectually gifted. Seeing the left hand side, 80 to 90 is considered as low average, 70 to 80 as borderline, and below 70 it is considered as intellectually deficient. Let's talk about the extreme of extremities of the normal curve. The first one is the intellectual giftedness. Intellectually giftedness is considered when the IQ is above 130. It is defined as exceptional general ability shown in superior performance in a wide variety of areas. That means the person is going to be good in all the domains, in all the areas. Talent word is used when a person has a remarkable ability in a specific field. Say, for example, singing, acting. Talent is restricted to a specific field. Intellectual giftedness means in a wide variety of areas. On the other extreme of the normal curve, we have the intellectual disability. According to AAMD, that is American Association on Mental Deficiency, intellectual disability is defined as sub-average intellectual functioning. That means IQ is less than 70. Deficit in adaptive behavior. That means a person is not able to adapt to the environment occurring during the developmental period. That is below 18 years of age. Intellectual disability has four types: mild, where the IQ is between 55 to 70, moderate 40 to 55, severe 25 to 40, and profound, that is below 25. From teacher's viewpoint, a child is gifted when he has high ability, high creativity, and high commitment. There are few characteristics that a gifted children have. First is that they have advanced logical thinking, they have a lot of questions, they have problem solving behavior, their processing speed is very high, they are very good in generalization, discrimination, creative thinking, they have intrinsic motivation, that is motivation from inside, they have high self esteem, they are independent and non-conformist. They do not agree with others very easily until and unless something logical is being told to them. For long periods, they prefer solitary academic activities. Intelligence tests are of various types based on the administration. That means on whom you are conducting. It is divided into individual or group tests. As the name suggests, individual intelligence test means when you are administering the intelligence test on a single person at a time. Group means when you are administering, when you are doing, when you are performing the intelligence test on many persons at the same time. Now, in an individual test, because it is one-to-one interaction, so definitely the conductor is sensitive to the feelings, moods, and expression. While in group, the conductor will not be familiar with the subject feeling. In individual intelligence test, the nature of item, that is what kind of questions are there, can be of verbal type, non-verbal type, or performance. Verbal means where the subject needs to read and write. Non-verbal means where the questions will be in the form of picture. Performance means where you have to manipulate the object, where you have to perform something. But in group, the questions, the items are normally in multiple choice question type. The example for individual test will be WAIS, that stands for Wessler Adult Intelligence Scale. For group test, the example will be CIE, Verbal Group Test of Intelligence. Based on the nature of item, the intelligence test can be divided into verbal, non-verbal, and performance test. Nature of item means the type of questions that are there in the psychological test. Now the question can be in the form where the subject is required to read it and write the answer. That will be considered as a verbal test. For the verbal test, it is required that the subject is literate, because the subject needs to read and write the answer. In non-verbal, there will be pictures. The questions will be in the form of pictures, so literacy is not required. In performance test, the subject needs to manipulate the object or other materials to perform the task. Again, here the literacy is not required. The examples will be for verbal test, it will be CIE, Verbal Group Test of Intelligence. For non-verbal, it will be RSPM, Raven Standard Progressive Matrices. For performance test, it will be Co-Block Design Test. Based on whether a test favor one culture over another, intelligence tests can be divided into culture fair and cultural biased. Culture fair means any person can do that particular psychological test. It is not favoring any culture. nor we usually have non-verbal and performance tests under culture fear. For example, RSPM, Raven Standard Progressive Matrices. We are saying non-verbal and performance because in these two, the language is not required. There will be picture, there will be some manipulation of object. So it is not favoring any culture. While the cultural bias test means that it favors one culture over the other. Say, for example, the test is the Bihar test of intelligence. Here, the people who belong to Bihar will be able to read it and be able to do that particular test. In this, normally all the verbal tests come under the cultural bias test. Talking about the use and the misuse of intelligence tests are used to find the general cognitive abilities, how the person mental process is working. The misuse is that whenever we do an intelligence test and the intelligence comes out to be low, comes out to be less, then it attaches the stigma. People think that this particular person is retarded, is not mentally capable, and it leads to discriminatory practices. People does not favor that particular child. These discriminatory practices will be from teachers, from siblings, parents, friends. Most of the intelligence tests are biased towards the middle and higher class population. That means most of the intelligence test requires the schooling. Intelligence tests do not capture the creative side or the practical side of intelligence. Talking about whether the intelligence differs from culture to culture, we are taking into account two types of culture. One is the Western culture, where the intelligence is considered as the technological intelligence, while in India we consider it as integral intelligence. In Western culture, the intelligence is only about the cognitive part. That means all the mental processes. Say, for example, generalization, discrimination, problem solving, only the cognitive part will be there in the Western culture. But in Indian culture, we considered intelligence as a combination of cognitive as well as the non-cognitive part. In India, we use the term buddhi for intelligence. For cognitive, it will be all the mental processes, say for example, understanding, memory, generalization, discrimination, problem solving. For the non-cognitive part, we have social. That means how the person interacts with others, whether the person respect the elders, help the needy, respect the social orders, able to understand, recognize the other's perspective. Emotional, that means are able to control their emotions. They have a good conduct, self-regulation is there. Entrepreneur means hard work, commitment, persistence, goal directed behavior. Emotional intelligence means that the person is able to understand their emotion, able to understand others' emotion, and able to control their emotion. That particular person is considered as emotionally intelligent. This concept is given by Salovey and Muir, and as we find out the intelligence by IQ, emotional intelligence is found out by EQ, that is emotional quotient. To be successful in life, it is important that the person is intellectual as well as have the emotional intelligence also. An emotionally intelligent person will be the one who will be able to perceive and is sensitive to their own feeling. They are able to understand when they are feeling happy, when they are feeling sad, or any other emotion. They are able to perceive and are sensitive to various types of emotion. They are able to relate their emotion with their thoughts. emotion, thoughts, and behavior are interrelated. So we need to understand that the emotion influences the thoughts and the thoughts influences the action. There is a need to control and regulate your emotions. To be successful in a career, it is important that a person has the interest and aptitude in the same field. Aptitude means the potential to develop a skill if proper environment and training is given. Interest means your preference. The combination of both helps us in deciding which stream, which career is the best for life satisfaction. Aptitude tests are of two types. One is independent aptitude test, also known as specialized test. Another is multiple aptitude test, also known as generalized test. Multiple aptitude tests are in the form of test batteries. Test batteries means a battery consists of various subtests, but they all belong to the same domain. For example, DAT, differential aptitude test. Now, if a person comes to you that I wanted to become a civil engineer, I wanted to become a typist. Now here they are telling us that they wanted to go in a specific particular field. We just wanted to see whether they have the potential to develop the skill or not. So we are going to do the independent aptitude test. But if a person comes to us and says, I do not know in which stream should I go, for that particular child, we need to do the multiple aptitude test. We need to find out, we need to check all the domains and find out which particular domain will be suitable for that particular child. The last topic of the chapter is creativity. Creativity means the ability to produce the ideas, objects, and problem solution that are novel and appropriate. The example of the creativity test is TTCT, Torrance Test of Creative Thinking. Talking about the relationship between creativity and intelligence, they do not bear any relationship. That means a highly creative person may or may not be intelligent. Highly intelligent person may or may not be creative. But yes, a certain level of intelligence is required to be creative. But beyond that, intelligence and creativity do not relate to each other. There is a difference between creative test and intelligence test. Creative test means the test which are going to assess the creativity of a person. Creativity means thinking out of the box, thinking of a new solution. Here in these tests, there will be open-ended questions. Open-ended question means where there is no specific answer, while the intelligence test have close-ended questions, means a one single answer, a limited answer. In creative test, we have divergent thinking. Divergent means there will be one topic and there will be many solutions. While in intelligence test, there is convergent thinking. Convergent thinking means many ideas will combine to give one single solution. There will be a freedom of imagination and expression in the creative test. But in intelligence test, there is a little scope for the expression of spontaneity, originality, and imagination. The example of creative test is TTCT, Torrance Test of Creative Thinking. The example of intelligence test is RSPM, Raven Standard Progressive Matrices. Thank you.